Hi, I'm here with Calvin Cheney from Embarc, and what's going on today?
Oh, just enjoying this interesting weather March that we have going on. A little bit of snow, a little bit of sun, back and forth.
Seems to be a little bit schizophrenic, but let's talk a little bit about some of the product that you have in your store. I was always interested in the seltzers. I didn't know anything about those. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so the drinks are pretty cool. They've definitely become a much bigger part of people's consumption because, hey, you don't want to have a cocktail? Boom, you can pull out a drink and you don't have your buddy being like, hey, why aren't you drinking tonight? Like, you've got a drink in your hand.
Right.
And going with that, too, there is actually some alcohol brands that have transitioned into the cannabis space. One that you probably know of is Pabst Blue Ribbon is one of the biggest
No way.
ones. St. Ides, which is another brand. So it's kind of funny seeing them swapping over to the good side from the dark side.
So do you have that PBR product in your...
Yeah, both our locations up in Tahoe carry that PBR in either a single or a 4-pack.
A 4-pack. Wow, that is interesting. I did not know that. Let's move into edibles now. They're measured out either from mints to candies to actually like bars and things like that?
Yeah, there's chocolate bars. We even actually just started carrying a new, more savory option. We've got some like corn nuts and stuff now too.
Wow.
So like 28 corn nuts is your 10 milligrams instead of one gummy if you're not feeling like some sugar today. So there's a whole variety, like we were just talking about in the drinks, to corn nuts, chocolates, your classics, some baked goods, and then gummies are the new most popular thing for sure. And then there's always the good hard candies and mints to round it out.
So that is a whole lot there. Now, then you're talking about dosages as far as like, what's the minimum maximum dosage? Is it 2 milligrams?
So the lowest milligram dosage that we carry is 2.5 milligrams,
Right.
but it goes all the way up to some of those drinks are 100 milligrams. They show you how to dose it out into smaller dosages,
I
like
see.
10 milligrams, because that's the compliant law.
Right.
But everyone's a little bit different. Like I know people that can take 2 milligrams of THC edible-wise and are high as a kite, but can then smoke a whole big old joint to themselves and be totally fine.
Wow.
And then vice versa, people who can take a couple hundred milligrams of THC, but 2 hits off a joint and they're stuck in the couch.
Very briefly for our last minute here, tell us about the difference between cannabinoids and terpene. Is it terpenes?
Yeah, terpenes. So cannabinoids are like what you know, like the THC and the CBDs, but there's also like CBN, THCV, CBG, and CBC are a couple of the big ones right now. And then terpenes are going to be what gives the flower, particularly when you're smoking like concentrates or vapes or flower, is what gives them their direction of what kind of flavors and effects it's going to be. So kind of like how I'd like to describe it is THC is the gas pedal, CBD is the brakes, and then terpenes are the steering wheel. So they're going to turn you left, right, up, down. THC is going to keep you going, and if you need to slow down a little bit, add a little CBD into that mix, and that will tone down that psychoactivity
And
for
if
you.
someone wants to check this out on your website, where can they go and how can they find that?
Yeah, if you go on goembarc.com, you'll be able to see our full menu for all of our different locations around California. They're kept up to date every day, and yeah, a nice, easy way to find it.
That's it. Calvin Cheney from Embarc. Thanks for coming in.